Hi all, welcome to these extra routes for the marquee matchups. I should have put these in on Wednesday and I completely slipped up and did not put them in at all, but hopefully still find this useful as always guys. So plenty to cover in terms of games. There's 5 options that should have been in the main routes, and so this is your bonus. So smash links are always, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at G the Legend. All the links are down below for posting the channel, and social media links as always. 4 are FA Cup ties and 1 being a French Cup tie. So let's jump in and go over the routes. First option, as I said, is Nice versus Monaco. This is the Côte d'Azur derby between both teams, the defending champions in the league and Nice, who were third last season. In terms of likelihood, I would say it's got a good shout. As I said, next week's MMs I'm not 100% convinced on, but because obviously it's hard to kind of say where they could go because there's so many leagues playing in cups this week over this week's window, so you've got to be aware of it. Smart options, guys like Cardinal, Congolo, they're going to be kind of popular options. Cazello's another one, but 15k pack for about Spurs versus AFC Wimbledon is one of the 4 FA Cup ties that they could consider. Obviously there's maybe potentially more that they might throw in, but for Spurs versus AFC Wimbledon, I love how I've thrown in a bronze left mid but still went the EPL squad as a route, just to prepare myself just in case, because it's not 100% certain how they could play this out. They might just go 2 leagues, or they might just go a different way altogether. But Lamela is probably the Spurs player. You might see Trippier, Davis as other options as well popping in, but fairly straightforward. I might even be a lot lower, bear in mind, because of AFC Wimbledon, but this is probably the 5 out of 10 because I'm not 100% convinced. 2 options in the Premiership that stand out is Liverpool versus Everton and then Brighton versus Crystal Palace. Liverpool versus Everton obviously is Merseyside derby. It has a very strong shout. If they were to keep away from the FA Cup, then it would make it interesting, but I think this is a strong shout with a 6 out of 10. Guys like Moreno, Robertson, Clavin, Lovren, they're probably miserably Karius, they're the Liverpool players that will be popular. Everton will be like Sandro, Klazen, Sigurdsson, McCarthy. The list kind of goes on really. Davis as well if you're wanting the silvers, but for me 15k pack, Liverpool game 6 out of 10, Brighton's a 6 out of 10. Pascal Gross, he's a popular shout from the Brighton perspective, same for Mui and Izquierdo, and Palace is like Benteke, Zaha, so forth. But this game, EPL might sneak an FA Cup option saying that, so be fully aware of that. And then Middlesbrough versus Sunderland, Northwest derby, both teams in the Championship, but also both teams playing each other in the FA Cup. For me, like Braithwaite will probably be a common shout, depending on if there's an overall rating perspective. Like Braithwaite's one of the few goals in the team, but the league has tons of goals anyway, so you wouldn't really find yourself short. It's more just a case of having the Middlesbrough and Sunderland players. Now remember, Middlesbrough featured a few weeks back and the prices went nuts, so be fully aware of that. I can't see them doing deja vu with that, because then it's just kind of crazy and a bit stupid really, but I know for me personally this is like a 5 or 6 out of 10. They may look at other options regardless, but hopefully find this useful as always. As I said, the main 4 I'm still sticking with from the main options. These are just the 5 spares that I should have put in top of it, but hopefully find this useful as always guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you fancy for MMs. Smash like as always, sub to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all later.